Good evening and welcome to the Robinette family household. I'd like to give a special thanks to Lee and Kelly Robinette for having us out here today. I'm going to give y'all a demonstration on how to correctly mow your yard with a gas-powered walk-behind lawnmower. On any given day, an average of 875 trips to the emergency room are attributed to lawnmowers. 2/3 of all Americans have a yard or an outdoor space which requires the grass to be cut. And cutting the grass can be a very gratifying experience. Today I'm going to cover some important safety elements to your grass mow. I'm also going to talk about a general overview of the lawnmower and some of its functions and processes. And then I'm going to tell you how to use the lawnmower and give you some tips on mowing your yard. So first of all, I'm going to cover some basic safety. First things first, starting from the ground up, we got to wear the right shoes when we're cutting the grass. It seems pretty obvious, but closed-toed shoes like regular sneakers or boots would be a good idea to wear. Even though the last thing anybody wants to happen is have a foot slide under the lawnmower to lose a couple toes, it's definitely something that might happen. And even though it would still cut right through our shoes, it would probably damage them a lot less than if we had flip-flops on. Not to mention the cutting of the grass and mowing the yard involves walking around quite a bit. So you want to wear some comfortable shoes that have some decent traction, so that you feel good when you're walking around mowing the grass and you have a good footing under your feet. Eye protection is the next thing I'm going to cover. Some people rule this out. Very few people actually wear safety glasses when they mow the grass, but I've suffered an eye injury before, and I realized that if I was to suffer another eye injury and couldn't see, that I would be blind, and there's nothing I could do. So safety glasses are a very important part of mowing the grass. Selecting your clothing that you're going to wear is important too. You don't want to wear baggy clothes or things with frills or strings hanging off of it. And you want to keep your shoes tied. That's also very important. Some yards are very big and might involve a significant amount of time in the heat and in the sun, so it might be a good idea to wear a large brimmed hat or a long sleeve shirt. Suntan lotion would probably be good for fair-skinned folks. So along the safety lines, another factor we have to face is the possible hazards of our environment. Anybody's yard has the possibility to have a root or a rock or a stick that when the mower blade runs over could cause it to go airborne and possibly injure us or somebody else. There's also, depending on where you live or who you live with or who's in your yard or where you're cutting grass at, you might have to worry about things like toys, dog poop, landscaping debris, stumps, golf balls. You never know what might be in the yard unless you take a quick lap before you cut the grass. Fortunately, we've picked up most of the items in this yard today, so we only have a couple things to pick up. But generally what you want to do is just take a quick walk through. You don't have to walk the entire space, but just enough to get a good idea that there's not anything major that you're going to walk over or run your lawnmower over. So now that we've talked about the safety protocol, we're going to get into the general overview of the lawnmower. This lawnmower we have today is a walk-behind lawnmower. Stays in the garage over here. First thing you should do at the beginning of the season or the beginning of a workday when you're going to be using your lawnmower is to come over here and verify that you have oil in the machine. It's labeled oil, it's pretty obvious. Unscrew it to the left and pull it out. This is called a dipstick. Down at the bottom you can see the oil. We are within the appropriate amount. Not too high, not too low. The reason it's important to have enough oil in your machine is if you don't have enough oil in there, it's going to inhibit lubrication and it's going to cause excessive heat, and you have the possibility you're going to have premature wear on your engine. It's not going to last very long, and you could also risk catastrophic failure. You know, maintaining your equipment will make it last longer and run better. And if your machine's running well, you're going to have a better quality yard when you're finished. So this mower also has a couple, well, let me start with basic options. All mowers have the ability to change the height. You can change the height of your blade with these selectors on either side. Most mowers will have one on each wheel. You want them to correspond with, have the same height so that you have a nice level cutting surface in your yard. A couple other things you want to check out here on the lawnmower are the spark plug on the end. The spark plug is important because it provides an electrically generated spark within the engine to ignite the fuel to generate the power so that the machine will run, which in turn drives the crankshaft, turns the output shaft, turns the blade, and that's the machine. Up here on top is an important part. This is the gas cap. This is where you're going to put gasoline in the machine. We like to do that when the machine is cold to eliminate the possibility of us catching on fire or catching gasoline fumes on fire. This symbol on the top is a gas pump. In some cases, you may have a gas pump with a drop of oil on it, and that would signify that your machine requires a specific oil